It's 5 o'clock. Take time to be safe. Don't text and drive. A reminder from HendrickCars.com.
A body found in a charred car in Durham sparks an arson investigation. What neighbors say they heard hours before authorities were called to the scene.
North Hill Shopping Center. It's the Verizon store. A guy just drove his car right into. He's coming out. Back up.
You were just listening to sounds from the scene where a man slams his car into a Raleigh Verizon store. Why police say he did it. Silent Sam is in the spotlight again. This time, supporters wanting to remove the statues are calling on the UNC Board of Governors to support their mission. We have reaction on the action. Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on Spectrum News on this Friday evening. I'm Tara Hershaft. We'll have your news and much more in just a bit. But first, it was another mostly dry day in our area. However, the wet weather will return for the weekend. Let's get a look at your latest forecast from the Weather on the One Center.
And thanks, Tara. Let's go ahead and take a look outside as we do get our evening started. Take a look at this blue skies across the Raleigh area. It's hard to...
Your traffic from the Leaf Auto Park Honda Traffic Center.
Live at 5:03 on Spectrum News, we're working to learn the identity of the person found dead in a burning car in Durham. Officers made the discovery last night around 10 o'clock on Guardian Drive. Spectrum News reporter Amy Elliott joins us now live from the scene. And Amy, what have you learned about this investigation?
Well, Tara, there are still plenty of unanswered questions out here today. I spoke to some of the people that live in the apartment complex just right off of this road here, and they say they were extremely unnerved about what took place here last night. It's not been a normal 24 hours here on Guardian Drive in Durham.
Just came out for a nice walk in the sunshine, and unfortunately it looks like something unnecessary, unpleasant has happened.
Thursday night around 10, police found a car on fire with a passenger inside.
I seen all the police cars and they told me there was a homicide. They seen a car back there.
Nearby neighbors heard a commotion earlier in the evening.
I heard a gunshot. I seen all my neighbors coming and rushing over to see what's going on.
Troy Wright works at the Marriott off of Guardian Drive and noticed the heavy police presence Thursday night.
After work, it was about 11:30. I seen a bunch of the blue lights, so I just kind of walked down just to see what was going on, because I knew that my guest was going to probably be calling, because they can see it from right outside their window.
Wright could smell the smoke before he could even see the crime tape.
Maybe like some wires, but that was pretty much it. But you can tell that something was burning, or had burned.
Durham police said they are considering the incident as arson as well as a death investigation. The badly burned car was towed early Friday morning. Now, Tara, as you mentioned, we are still waiting to learn the identity of the person in that car. As soon as we receive any new update, we will certainly pass that along to you. For now, reporting live in Durham, Amy Elliott, Spectrum News.
From him. Yeah. A lot of people are standing around, but who knows? The guy may have a gun for all we know.
Shock and fear for Verizon employees. Police say a man plowed into the Verizon store on Six Forks Road last night, destroying their front door and windows. The store is since back open for business, and that's where we find Spectrum News reporter Ian Dembling. And Ian, what does that area look like now?
Tara, if you walk past this area, you might not even realize what happened last night, but we walked around the Verizon wireless store and we were able to find these small pieces of glass, which we believe to be the remains of what is left of that front entrance of Verizon Wireless, where police say a man crashed through the front door around 8:30 yesterday. According to a 911 caller who appears to be an employee inside the store, the man showed up about a half hour after the store closed last night, but demanded someone fix his phone. That's when he turned aggressive. Police arrested and charged 74-year-old Charles Hager with 6 counts of assault with a dangerous weapon and criminal damage to property. The store opened back up at 2 p.m. today and will continue with regular store hours. Customers are still in shock and say they hope people can channel their anger a little bit better in the future.
I wouldn't drive my car through the front door, I know that. course, I have a pretty nice car. I wouldn't do that. But I'm surprised somebody did that. Really am.
Now, we were able to watch as Verizon employees came outside to take a picture with the new temporary door and signage. We were told by police that the 6 people who were inside the store were not injured when this car drove through last night. As for Charles Hager, he is expected to appear at the Wake County Justice Center at a later date. For now, reporting live here in North Hills, Ian Dembling, Spectrum News.
Raleigh police are investigating a shooting on Mordecai Drive. That's where they say a man was shot and taken to WakeMed Friday afternoon. He's listed in serious condition. There's no word on a suspect at this time. Stay with Spectrum News says the story continues to develop. Several advocacy groups, including the state NAACP and Democracy NC, held a protest at the General Assembly on Friday. The groups were speaking out against a surprise special session in what they call the General Assembly's latest attempt to rig elections for partisan gain. One demonstrator pointed to the decision to end judicial primary elections as a reason to raise their voices.
They eliminated the judicial primary. They got rid of an election. That's kind of a big deal. And then when all of those changes came back to haunt them, they were like, uh-oh, better go change the rules of the game again. And that's unacceptable. That is not how a democracy should work.
Progress NC Action and NC Voters for Clean Elections also participated in the protest.
Members of the Silent Sam movement and their supporters spoke during a UNC Board of Governors meeting Friday. They asked university leaders to support their decision to take down the Confederate monument on Carolina's campus. But as Spectrum News reporter Madison Calvo-Carey tells us, the university has yet to make a decision.
If this board will not move to issue a statement, please respond with exactly why that is.
Emotions were high at a UNC Board of Governors meeting Friday. At a public comment session, Silent Sam was the subject of every speech.
And then I walk another half mile and see Silent Sam, proudly representing the Confederacy who started an entire war based on keeping people like me enslaved. So I sit here and look at a mostly white Board of Governors that paid $390,000 to protect the Confederate statue, and to be honest, I'm disgusted.
The Move Silent Sam group and its supporters spoke out, calling on the board to take the next steps to help remove the Confederate monument known as Silent Sam from UNC Chapel Hill's campus. They say the statue creates a racially hostile learning and working environment and claim it violates civil rights law.
When I say Silent Sam, I refer not only to the physical statue at the entrance of UNC Chapel Hill. I'm speaking to the violence and blatant white supremacy that is apparent in the actions and choices made by this Board of Governors.
In an email to the Move Silent Sam group, the board's chair, Harry Smith, responded by saying he appreciates the group's passion, but believes the board just doesn't have the authority to make that change. Local officials have to get permission from the NC Historical Commission to remove Confederate monuments.
I would expect that we will have a conversation at the board with the president and follow a process. And, so at the end of the day, what I want to make sure is that we're not ignoring it.
Those against Silent Sam were hoping the board would petition the NC Historical Commission to remove the statue. But university leaders said that's a decision they're not ready to make.
I think our job is to listen and learn and to, represent the views of the students we serve to those who can make a decision.
In Chapel Hill, Madison Calvo-Carey, Spectrum News.
Some speakers at that meeting say they aren't happy with the board's response.
With midterm elections quickly approaching, today was a great day for the public to learn about the certification process for voting equipment used during elections in North Carolina. A public demonstration was held at the State Board office in Raleigh earlier today. The purpose was for members of the State Board and the public to witness voting systems demonstrations and have their questions and concerns addressed by the vendors. The event fulfills part of the requirements of the Election Systems Certification Program adopted by the State Board in 2017.
And what equipment is being used is critical to how elections work well or they don't work well. If they have problems, access problems, or accountability problems, we're very interested in that.
Today's demonstration is part of the continuing certification process. The Board of Elections will decide in September if any of the vendors meet the criteria required by the state and make a decision on whether or not they can be used in the elections. Time now to check in with the Weather Center for a look at your 3-day forecast.
It's time now for your weather on the ones. I'm meteorologist Alyssa Corvant.
Your traffic from the Leaf Auto Park Honda Traffic Center.
5 South, as they do some cleanup work. Looks like they have an extra lane open now.
And air service development is economic development. That says we're doing well, there's new jobs that are being created, and more jobs are more opportunities for communities.
Purdue Airport celebrates major milestones and growth. Coming up on Spectrum News, what it has to do with Delta Airlines and how there could be more offerings for travelers.